Hey, what's up everybody? This is your Chief of the Blue Blurs, GamerBlake90, presenting you with another Sonic news video. When we last talked about Sonic Prime, the second Sonic movie had just arrived in Japan. A Japanese news outlet covering its launch also happened to casually drop some information concerning the release of Prime. The show is apparently hitting Netflix this December. But when in December? That much was never specified. But thanks to two documents that have recently been obtained by Tails' channel while Tokyo Game Show is going on, we might finally have the answer. These documents describe plans from SEGA to announce a release date for Sonic Prime, and that release date is the 15th of December. The names of those who shared these documents with Tails' channel are not known, as they requested to remain anonymous. But apparently we can look forward to SEGA announcing the December 15th release date for Prime really soon, though soon could mean before or after the launch of Sonic Frontiers. From recent events, it seems like SEGA has decided to focus on Sonic Frontiers first, and when that's out and about, then they'll address Prime. This would explain the December 15th release date if it is correct, which it seems to be, but it isn't entirely certain yet. Tails' channel has since reached out to SEGA for more clarification on the subject, but they haven't heard back as far as I'm aware. Likely because of how crazy SEGA has been going with the Frontiers marketing. I could be going crazy, but I swear that they'd originally planned to release the show this fall rather than this winter. Of course, plans can change, so if it had been pushed back slightly, it wouldn't be all that astonishing. I mentioned already that SEGA may have chosen to put their focus on Frontiers first and then they'd get to Prime afterward. But the more likely theory, at least to me, as to what is going on, is that they may have needed a little more time to actually get the show ready for launch. It would explain the recent silence around Sonic Prime. The last time Sonic Prime was talked about at length was during June, both of the second Sonic Central and the Netflix Geek Week event. Here's a summary of what did go down. Shadow and Big got revealed, and that was it. Quite literally, that was it. Oh, and Green Hill Zone was featured in all of these reveals, which suggests it will be a major location in the show. But no elaboration was given on the storyline other than the basics which we already know about. Nothing more was said about the characters that were already shown off, and then they just peaced out. So we're still left hanging. Here's my guess as to what's gonna happen. With all the hype surrounding Sonic Frontiers, SEGA may be planning to time their announcement of Prime within close proximity to November 8th, which means they won't say anything more about the show until either October or November at the earliest. This would make sense, as Japan is kinda employing a similar strategy with the second Sonic movie. They're using it as an opportunity to promote Frontiers, hence the ad that they saw in Japanese theaters. So, just as people going to see a movie will then be told about a game they might like, we'll be told about a Netflix show we might like after we get the game. One thing feeds into another. It's crazy to say this though, but we're actually nearing the end of our latest content for the Blue Boy this year. I can't believe how the time has gone by. We got the second movie, we've got Origins, Prime and Frontiers are up next, and apart from a third Sonic movie and a Knuckles spin-off, we don't know what will be next. But isn't that kinda exciting to think about? After what's happened this year, it's gonna set the bar much higher for what else is to come. Since this is likely going to get brought up, I might as well address it now. This Saturday, Netflix Tudum 2022 will be happening. It's a global fan event where people gather to celebrate their favorite moments from shows featured on Netflix. I'd never heard of Tudum before, if that's how you pronounce it, but from what I read about it, it doesn't look like the kind of event where you can expect world premieres of any kind. I don't think they're planning to announce new shows there as much as they're planning on celebrating existing ones. So, I wouldn't be too hopeful about Sonic Prime popping up there in any way. They even have a list of shows that will be showing up for sure on their homepage, and when you look through it, you don't see any sign of Sonic Prime. It might be a little weird to announce it now, when it would make more sense to announce it next month or the month after, with Frontiers being so close to releasing. As I talked about earlier, announcing these two in close tandem with one another would be an effective strategy for promotion, at least in my head, that's how it would look. But hey, if you want to check out Tudum when it happens, don't let me stop you. I remember all too well what happened when I said the Sonic Frontiers would not be in the Nintendo Partner Direct when that was first announced, and the next day, we got one of the best trailers for it. It's one of those times where I was more than happy to be wrong, trust me. Oh, and something else I want to bring to your attention, and honestly this is something I should have addressed myself at the time, but I was a little too preoccupied with Frontiers. You probably may have noticed if you've been looking through my channel. But next year, we're getting toys based on Sonic Prime. WildBrain and SEGA have partnered with PMI to provide a lineup of toys and merchandise throughout early 2023. These include minifigures, plushes, stampers, games, collectibles, and, well, all kinds of stuff, really. And as an aspiring collector myself, this is awesome to hear about. In the article WildBrain shared about their partnership with PMI, they once again provided a summary of Sonic Prime's storyline. It's basically the same thing, but just reworded slightly. Apparently an encounter with Dr. Eggman results in a literal universe-shattering event. I guess that's where the term Shatterverse comes from. Desperate to piece his prime reality, oh boy, back together and save his old friend, Sonic races through the Shatterverse, discovering strange worlds and enlisting new friends in an epic adventure of a lifetime. And then it reiterates the winter 2022 release date. Well, I hope this holds up. I've never really used Netflix like that, but for the likes of Sonic Prime, I will be more than happy to make an exception. So that's everything I've heard for Sonic Prime thus far. Just wanted to bring y'all up to speed on it. But then again, you may be aware of all of this already because this information was shared during the Tokyo Game Show. So I'm a little late to covering it, but I wanted y'all to be aware that I do know about what is going on. I would like to bring up one more thought before closing this video off. I've often said that because Sonic Prime takes place in a multiverse, or the Shatterverse as it's officially known, we may see different interpretations of Sonic. But I'd partly interpreted that to mean that we might see different versions of Sonic as in like movie Sonic, for example, from an entirely different interpretation of the franchise. But then I look at this concept art of Dr. Eggman here, where we see different versions of him all at different ages. And I wonder if by timeline, we might simply see Sonic and the rest of his friends at different ages, in different timelines, with different personalities, stuff like that. An example of that is Jungle Warrior Amy, which I'm still struggling to wrap my mind around. This might in turn negate the theory that we'll see, say, movie Sonic. But come on, SEGA and Paramount, you might still be willing to make this happen? Pretty please? Pretty please? But let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. I'd much rather wait to see how successful the first season turns out before entertaining any other possibilities. Endless possibilities. Come on guys, I'm an Unleashed fan, you know I had to throw that in there. Oh, and by the way, Sonic Unleashed represents in Prime? Wink wink, nudge nudge? Anyway, that's gonna do with update video on Sonic Prime. Thank you to Taylor Channel for keeping us updated about the show, and I recommend that you all go and give them a follow if you haven't yet. They're a spectacularly reliable news source. I will see you all next time. If you enjoyed this video, let me know your thoughts with your likes and comments below, and don't forget to sub and ring that bell for more Sonic content. Peace, take care, and don't forget, Blue Blurs for life.